bottom of the page here. Let's start. Let's just start reading the bottom of the page. The Rashash is difficult, and I don't pretend to be an expert over here. You'll see why. Atu. So he says, I'm trying to piece this together. This word atahu represents a yichud between Ava and Ima. So you have that, and then it says Havaya. Then it's a lower yichud too, because it's a shul of Adni. Then he says, and this is the text. He's got a running commentary on the text. So he says, Atahu Hashem Elokeinu shehiktiru avosenu. Now, for what reason he says Chagat? I'm not sure what to do with it. Chagat refers to Chesed Gevurah Tiferes, which are the Avos, Lifonecho, as a Malchus Ketoret. So it sounds like he's bringing that this shiluf, or these combinations of Yehudim, bring us to something, presenting it to Ketoret, my guess, I don't know. So he says that Gematria Yud Aleph Pamim Adni. So it turns out that this word Ketoret is 11 times Adni, Klipos, which come out of the Klipos. This is general idea of what we're talking about. Apparently it takes the Yehudim, and then it gets we're coming over here to Malchus, and here they are. I'm not sure exactly why those languages were in there, but I'm going on. So now you count them up. There's 11 different pieces of this name Adni, and obviously Adni refers to Malchus. So I'm not sure if we're talking about the Malchus of it or how this worked, but this seems to be its language. Then he goes on, Asamin Bisman Shabesim Mikdash Kaim, Kashas Visachazam Ayad Motion, the Vioch, Kakam. So let's come over here now and let me see. Maybe it's too bright. Okay, I don't know. So let's see at the top here. It says, Kashiyomer Pasuk Kachluchol Samim, that's the Pasuk. Yamanda Be'etz Bows, he start counting with bows Yad Yamin. So he says you should only count with your right hand, Davka. Kaseda Hazer. So he says, now this is, I think we saw this, I'm not sure exactly what to do with it. When you have the word Samim, it means two, it's plural. Nata V'shcheta V'chelvener, Yamanda Be'od Gimel, that's three more. He says so he's just showing how it goes, but this is another kind of reference. Then he says, Samim, Yumane Hey. So this would, the Samim, this would bring up to 5. The 3 and 2 is 5. The Levoina, Yumane Aleph, that's 1. The Kol Yachad, they put them together, comes out to be 11. Keneged Yud Aleph Zemanim. Okay, let's go on a little bit more. And then it says, V'yomach Hashem el Moshe, Kach l'chol Samim. So he says the word Samim with the kolel is a gematria kone. So I think you could probably see that if you add the kolel, it's 150 plus 1. And he says that gives you the kone. So now, what are we looking at? We're looking at a cookbook. It has a lot of problems to really simply understand it. But he says that when you say the word Samim, it gives you this gematria of 151. La'alos, and what is this able to do? When you say that it has the power, the alos, the feres, the netzach, mikol noga debia. Now we said in the introduction that the noga really refers to the interface of the klipa, the klipa's noga. So this is a place where you have the appearance of the light of the kedusha that's in this klipa. You could bring it out. So here, what we're bringing, so just see the words again. This with the kola gives you kana, and this kana is what? Is a power to be able to lalos the feres v'netzach, mikol noga d'abiyah. So that's netzach. So I'm reading on. Then he says, you say the word nataf. What does nataf do for you? So this is kavanah la'alos hod mikol noga d'abiyah, to bring hod out. Then you say the word v'shchelis. La'alos yisod mikol noga d'abiyah. So what have we done? He says, you have hod, and I don't know. Earlier he said that samim meant this particular la'alos teferes v'netzach, and then nataf is to bring up hod. So now you have the nai. Am I got right there? Right? No. You have the the Tiferes, Netzach, and Hod. And then B'Shechelis La'alos Yisod, then you bring up Yisod, so now you're getting the whole 9, B'Kol Noga Debiyah. And then you have this Chelvano, which we saw in the Rav. The Chelvano in the Kolol is Gematria Kel Adni. What does Kel Adni do for you? This is Gematria 96. So these two together, well, Adni refers to Malchus, and Kel comes from a higher place. I always thought is a very strong chesed. So he's the Alos Malchus, and you use this name. That's the Kavana to bring up Malchus. Now you've gotten into Nehim. Mikol Noga Dabia. So then he said, he remezes the Mikuk He Gevuros. So he says this is actually a remez, this word Bechelbano, to the sweetening of 5 Gevuros. He says, now take these 3 letters, Ches, Lamed, and Bet, of Chelbana, in Yonu Mituk, and it's Chalaf, it's white. So its whole thing is for purpose of sweetening. Then you have the He Gevuros or Ramazim Ba'oz He. So that is to teach you that there are these He Gevuros, and in this word Chelvana, you have all of this sweetening process. So he's bringing the sweetening onto the letter He. And then he says, so now you have another letter. So he'll call Echad Kalula Miyud, so each one of them, all the 5 has 10 within it. So that makes 50, and that's all the numbers of Chelbana. Miyud Ramazim Ba'oz Nun. Then he goes on, he goes like this. He goes, so this is the easy part. So he says, you'll see in a minute. Samim and Makola Gematria Kana. So we went back to the same idea. Kana, apparently, he's saying it's used for elevation. He says, so once again, Kana again, La'alos Kacha V'chog. So we had the Nehim, and now you're going to bring in the Chesed Gevurah, not just the hymn, it's the, I guess you would say the Tanahim, because the Ferris was included in the whole thing. So you got the body, the whole body, and then when you get to Samim, you say the second time you say Samim, it does the same thing again. The Samim always comes out to Gematria at 150 plus a kolel, is Koneh, Lalos, and then we're going to bring up the top part, the 5 spheres on the top, Mikol Noga Debiyah. So then he says, then moving along. So these are all our kavanas, and we have to see that these words actually accomplish these things. Ulevona zocha. So then this pure, I guess, very fine. Okay. Now I am going to go back. This is a new technique here. Oh baby. There we go. What did I do? I hung up. Oh, gosh. My face. Maybe he's trying to call me. Okay. Try it again. Okay. We're back on board. So so we just went through the whole the Koch of Chagat Nehim. We went through the whole thing there. The Levona Zaka, and then it says the next one you're going to say, the next word you're going to say is going to be a Levona Zaka. What does that do for you? La'alhos a makif, we call Noga Debiyah. It's in order to bring up the makif, which we talked about before, we call Noga Debiyah. Now, you have questions here of why there's only one makif. There's only one makif. So there's one makif. You have 10 panimi, one makif. That's just said that's the board. That's the way that the game is played. So again, so this is the maki of brings out the maki, but he says not just of say like as we read originally, Atzilas Bri, Yitzir, and Asiya, but not individual ones, but all of it. It brings out the klipas from the or from the klipa, all of these. So then he goes a little harder one. He says bad. Now we have that bad muchim denuk. This word bad, which he said before, could be switched. I think he said there before could be switched. Bad, mochin denuk shechoy b'bad, that we're in the bad. What is the bad? Shema klipos. The bad means klipos. How do we know that bad means klipos? He says ramazim bechilif bad shuhu sak ba'atbash. Now, question is, well, obvious question. So, what's he doing here? I mean, why did we go to a cipher in order to try to explain this. I mean, but he did. So he said you have to change it. So bad, he said, Olevon zacha. Then he said, bad, mochin de nok shechoya bebad. So he says these are the mochin that were in the bad, which is in the klipos. Shehima klipos, a rumazah bechilif, the bechilif bad into the word sak, and this is a fact that I don't know, is that sak, in Atbash, it means the kali. It means sak. So sak is like what? An empty bag? I'm not sure what he meant by that. So I would pronounce it that way. So he says, let's read it again. He says, Shehima klipos, the bad represents the klipos that are a sack that is holding this kedusha. That's my explanation, but I could do. He said, but he the bad who's sak ba'atbash, Shehima kali, ba'ata nislav v'nikra Yud K and Yud K. We see, I think we saw that before. The two mochin of the Nook are called Yak Yak. It has a special, it has this vocalization down below it. Not sure what it's supposed to get, where it's supposed to take me. So then he goes up, I'm just going to read this, and it is Vasisa Osocha Ketoret Rokach Mase Rokeach Mamulach Tahor Kodesh. So it's going into deep place. Asher ivoe lecha shoma. I will appear to you, show you some kodesh kadosh and tihi elechem. So all of this smoke, it's actually smoke that you're bringing up in order to mivato or pull out the kedusha from the klipa noga. So that's the time you do the Vahalos Aaron. Now when Aaron comes along, and let me see how I'm doing here with the camera. When Aaron comes along, he says, Aaron, what he says, Uvahalos Aaron as a neighbors ben Rabbaim Yaktirenu Ketoret Tamid Lifnei Hashem Ledorosechem. Now, okay, we haven't gotten to the really harder part yet, so let's just keep trying to do a little bit more. And you see what's hard about it is the gematrias don't work out in any way that I'm familiar with. So he says, and I added a lot of them up, and it's just not working out for me. So and you'll see, because it's the answer is of the gematrias is really hidden. So it's Atana Rabbanan. Pitom, the word pitom. He says it's a gematria of 3. He says gematria. I can tell you that Pitum does not come out to be 4 times 45, 3 times 45. 3 times 45 is 135. So Pitum is a gematria of 116. Let me see what it is. It's paid 120, 129. Let me see. Pitum is 89 plus 6. It's 95 plus 4 is 135 also. Okay, there's one that works out. So he said Tanu Rabbanan, Pitum. So we go through this Pitum, and it's the gematria, the same gematria as 3 times Ma. What's Ma? Ma is a middle line. I'm assuming. He has 3 of them, one for the right side of the middle line, one for the left side, and one for the middle. So then we go like this. Then the next words are Ketoret. So he says, if you take the word Ketoret and you switch the kuf, ba'atbash, into a dalet. Now, you see, my question is always, why would he do this? But he's telling us that's your kavana. So you take the kuf and you switch it into in atbash, and instead of being a kuf, it's a dalet. It's a change in 96. It's 96 numbers. So he says this gives you the gematria of Taryag. Now, Taryag is of course 613, and Ketoret, even with 613 would be okay. That would work out. So 613 Ketoret is 109, 309, 709. 709. And he says then you take Ba'atbash is a Dalid. So take away 96. I don't know. Gematria Taryag. He says it takes. I didn't work out for me. So Taryag Pito Makatoras Gematria Zion Margolin. So I try to add this up also, the 7 Margolin. I think a Ketoret might work out to be Taryag. So let's say we got Taryag. So it's Gematria Taryag, and he says Pito Makatoras Gematria Zion Margolin. Now, how he figured out the Margolim, I don't know, but these numbers, first of all, I know that this appears in the Rechobos Anar on Shabbos. And this is a process of bringing things up. I know that from over there. I'm assuming that the 2 Hashems is actually counted for 1. Then it goes Hashem, Matz, then it goes Yak, and then it goes Adni, Kale, Elokim, and Matz. There are different kinds of combinations to bring them all to unity. So, and as a result of that, to elevate them. But the numbers don't work out. I don't know what he meant by the gematria of Zion Margolim, because if I add them up to 26, the next one is 300, then 15, and then 65, and 31, 86, and 300, I get to a gematria probably of 748. So not sure exactly how he got to that number. So we'll go on. Ketzad. So how is it, in fact, that you did this, that you tied the Ketoret in some way to these Margolim, which are powers of elevation? Ketzad, how you do this? Shlosh Meos, so there's 300, and so Elokim in the Milu of Yudin is 300. So he says, so you're dealing with that. The Mochin Dekatnas, which represent the Mochin Dekatnas Olim Shin, which come to Gematria 300. Then he's going to say the Shishim, and then there's another 6, which is the Milui, the Shin is the Yud and the Nun. So this is all, once again, it's a complicated cookbook. Ushmona Monim, and so then it has 8 different types within it. So he says, what is this? A Mispar Dalin Mochim, the godless? So just how do you get it has within it, right, Shmona Monim, in this 360 that you just went through, which is contents. In some way, it is a misbar that you're, I guess when you're Shmona Monim, you're changing it into, you're bringing in the 4 Mochin, the godless, and the Gibel Levushehem, the Nai, in which the Mochin are housed, the Ima B'Hakolel, and add the Kolel in, Hoyubah. I'm not sure what this Hoyubah is, I didn't add it up. Hoyubah is 7 plus 10, 11 is 12, 22, 28. So it doesn't Vahakolel, so I'm not sure exactly Hoyubah, just maybe it means just they were in it. So all of this is inside of it, which is what? Mochin de 300 is Mochin de Kadnas. Shmona Monim added up, it's going to be Mochin de Godless, and their Levushim, and the Kolel of some sort. Nimsiki Iker Klalos Hakol Enu Rak Misper Shlosh Meos, and he shows it to us again how this gets it. This comes to be 300. Gematria Shin, Vashishim. Let me see, I'm losing my place here. So Vashishim, Milui Shin, which is the Milui, Vachachmisha, Dalad Mochin, the Godless, Vachakolel. Again, the kolel, use of the word kolel, but he says that's what you have to do. That's how you have to mix it. Kamini Yemosa Choma, like the days of the sun. Of the sun, which means the days of the year, according to the solar year. Shebechem Yordin Mochim De'ima Lemata Lehis Lavish Bazun. So with this concept, this 365, the way he structured it, which is 300, again, representing Katniss, and then the levush of, plus the mochin, the levush of godless, all of that, he says, Shebehem Yordin Mochin the Ima Lamata Lislavish Bazun. This is moving it downwards. Mona Bakal Yom. So you take one type or one account, I don't know, every day. And he says, Machsisa Baboker, half of it in the morning, Machsisa Ve'erev, Shloshim Banim Yiserev, and then another 3 extra ones. So he says, Neged Levushe, trying to get a place to stop. So I'll go down to the bottom of the place. So the bottom of the place. The Shloshim Monim Yiserev, there's another 3 Monim. Neged Levushe Amochim, which is the Nai the Ima. Shehem Kasa Kamag Konet. Now, that's a fact that I really don't know how to put together. I just don't know this. They're just reading again the look. He says the levushim are which are contained in the Na'avima, and he says the levushim are by these names. The levushim are the combinations of the name Ekia, the miluyim of Ekia, 3 miluyim of Ekia, and then he shows it to us. Then he says Na'asis Hamchasa uba. So I guess hamchasa is how you put a machta is a what's a firing pan, like a pan. Nasim machta uba choyim machtis kohen godel v'noitlim bechem melochopnov biyom kippurim shebo hanuk ola alechem ve'enim yordim, because on Yom Kippurim using all of this, and the smoke it causes to go up and doesn't come back down again. I'm not sure what that significance of that is. The machzir and the machteshes, and you bring it back to grind it again. Be'erev Yom Kippurim, he says it has to be reground. Kedei l'kayim mitzvahs daka min daka. Okay, we'll stop here. So it's like a lot of ideas that I'm not 100% used to. Let me make that mark there. Okay, I'm going to stop.